So, hi, I am Miss Valiant, and welcome back to the controversial table. So, this is a new series I'm doing on my channel where whenever there's a holiday or a winter break, there's going to be a series of topics we're going to talk about. And as you can see from my latest video from Pride and other stuff, it's week 1 of summer vacation. This is episode 2 for some vacation, but this from now until the final week of summer, which is 8 weeks. This is the controversial tables love edition, where we're talking about all things love, from familial love to romantic love to self-love. Everything's love. Now, where I will be referencing, and all you atheists out there, I will be coming from the Bible and a specific book in the Bible from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. That is where I will be getting my main plethora of what love should be. Each video will contain a different type of love. This week, we'll be focusing on family love. And next week, we'll be focusing on familiar love. Like friendship love. Then self-love, then romantic love, and then we'll wrap up. And then we'll be talking about something else. We'll be talking next week, and then the following week, we'll be talking about what each of these, what love significance is. So we're covering the 4 types of love. And because I'm coming using the Bible, the 4th love I won't talk about would be godly love. It would be called, I forgot what the word is, but my Christian people know what it is. Agape. Thank you. Agape love. But because this is a channel for every point of view, I will not be talking about that kind of love. That will be a video all in itself. But for this, the 4th love I will be talking about is self-love. So it'll be self-love. So to get us started, we're going to talk about what familiar love is. Now, the basis I'm using to figure out what familiar love is parents. It'll be aunts, uncles, cousins. It won't be friends we call family. It'll just be blood relation, people who have either married in your family or who are naturally in your family. It's like your mom, your grandma, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm gonna somewhere in a video, I'm gonna ask a question. And when I edit this, the question is gonna come up on the screen. And question I'm gonna ask is, how do you show your family love? So that will be the question of the main video, but that is the question of the video. So I'll put it somewhere on the screen, and I want you to stop and comment in the comment section, or just think. You don't have to comment, just think, how do you show your family love? Even after a fight, how do you show your family love? Now, The two verses I'm going to really be digging deep on is, or the couple verses I'm going, well, not two, but the main two I'm going to be focusing on. But I am going to read some of the scripture. The rest will come later. So I bring my good book that I like pink. As I bring my book, I will say, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is self-seeking. I mean, it is not self-seeking, my fault. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, and it keeps no records of wrongs. I'm going to stop at verse 5. I dropped my phone. But I will stop there. Those all are in families. All these problems consist in a family one way or another. Let me grab my phone here. This is I don't want it to break. There we go. We, all of us, including our parents, have experienced or have done those things, the opposite of what the Bible tells us not to do when it comes to loving each other or our friends or our family. So I'm going to talk about the first one. Love is patient. Love is indeed patient. If you don't have any patience in your life, you cannot love someone because love takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of work. You can't love anybody if you're not patient. You can't. It's literally impossible to love someone. If you are impatient, why do you even bother having friends? Why are you so wanting to move fast? Why do you want everything your way? It's kind of impatient, it's kind of like selfishness because you want everything to be fast, everything your way. Because everything in life you can't get for free. Nothing in life is free. Love is supposed to be free, but it isn't. That is why it's in the Bible. And God knew that humanity isn't capable of isn't loving each other how we are supposed to love each other. Like, God loves us with no faults. Yes, he wants us to do the right thing, even when it's hard to do. A- And being respectful to our families, to our parents, to anybody. Love is supposed to be patient. And that is why so many divorces happen. But we'll talk about that another day. Um, but as for the next one I'm going to talk about is love is kind. If you're not kind, love is kind and it's supposed to be kind. It is being kind is one of the many ways you can show love to someone. It's something you can show someone who's upset, who just needs a little pick me up in life. And if you can't be kind, what is the point of having friends? You can't make friends without being kind. And being a jerk, then being kind, doesn't work. You have to be kind, and you can never be a jerk. I'd use another word, but I have family members that watch this channel, and I have to tone down my choice of vocabulary. But you can't you can't sit here and just do that. It's not right. It's not right. Being kind is a wonderful way. And there are many ways you can be kind. I don't have to tell you what the ways are. you need to know you have to be kind. You have to be kind. As for it does not envy. Now, here's where we get into the nitty gritty, because we're getting off on the things that us family members have felt in our lifetimes. Jealousy, envy. You want things you can't have. And it's the thing. You want things you can't have. You see, here's an example. I want what my brother has. I want a job. I want a lot of friends. I want to be over 21. I can't have that. I'm so envious of his life. I want it for myself. This is just disclaimer. This is example use only. But this is this is an example of envious. I would be envy of my brother's life. Here's another example. Your sister can't have children. So she becomes envious that you can because you're currently 6 months pregnant and you're complaining about the nausea, your feet hurt, your belly's so big, you can feel the baby kick, you know the baby's gender, all the exciting trivials and trials of being pregnant, the healthy glow for your skin, the being able to create life from nothing but a tiny little sperm cell. Creating life is something she can't do. The only thing she can do is adopt because not a lot of people have enough money to ask for a surrogate. Some people don't have that kind of money. And they probably couldn't stand being around someone who can get pregnant either because she's already jealous of her sister who is experiencing all the trials of pregnancy. So she becomes envious and that cuts off her sister and her nieces and nephews. Why? Because she's envious of her sister. That's not fair to her sister. That certainly isn't fair to you. That's not fair to her as well. So it's kind of hard not to be envious. But you have to be grateful. Okay, well, plus side, me and my husband don't have to wear condoms anymore. I don't really have to worry about, I can stop taking contraceptives because can't get pregnant. And the doctor will tell you what the percentages of how unlikely your pregnancy will be. Normally, when they say there's a 99.9% chance you you won't be able to get pregnant, but there is a 1% chance that you might. But most people take the 99 and just say, well, no more contraceptives. And the man's like, hey, no more latex. So I can just go like rabbits. But there are other ways to have children. Adoption is always an option. Fostering a child is always an option. You'll be around working with kids in general is the best way to kind of fade into that. I personally would not choose teaching as a way to interact with kids because kids nowadays, considering I used to be a student in school. Anyway, anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is it does not boast, it is not proud. Those things kind of go hand in hand with each other. Because if you're boasting, you're kind of being proud about it. Pride, being prideful, you're holding yourself up higher than others and you're boasting about how good you are. Take a celebrity, for example. A lot of celebrities or YouTube content creators who are rich AF, like Mr. Beast, like to flaunt their wealth that they can just give money away like it's nothing. That they can just give money away like it's nothing. That would, even though they're doing it out of kindness, it seems like when you have a camera on it, you want it documentation of, oh yeah, I did that. I did it. It's not showing the sincerity of how good you're doing it. Because even when he made it over past 1,000 subscribers, he gave it to a homeless man and filmed it. $1,000 to a homeless man. And it's great that he did that, but why does he need the self gratification of having it filmed? God knows you did what you did. Your friends know what you did. But why does the whole world need to show you need to see how great of a charity man you are? I understand you do all these challenges just to give away money and to make people have fun. That's great, but you're showing off. Or some people might take that as you're showing off. And then you're boasting about how good it is, how good you are at doing it. Mr. Beast has over almost 50 million subscribers on YouTube. Dude has already got the diamond play button. Markiplier, same thing. He's almost near 40 million subscribers. And Corey Kenshin, almost 20 million subscribers. So all three of these people, all these people have a large following on YouTube. But they don't, the two of them don't flaunt how much they're giving. See, Markiplier has done charity streams. So has Corey Kenshin. Both of them have done charitable things in life. And they're doing it for a charity. But they don't advertise it on their channel all the time. Sometimes it's out of the blue where Markiplier will say, I am doing this for whatever reason. I am doing this for that whatever reason. Corey Kenshin is the same way. But they're not overdoing it. Yeah, they got a lot of money. Yeah, they rich as hell, but they not in your face. 20 million there, 5,000 there, 10 million. You're just throwing money in the air and hoping people catch it behind you. That's all you're doing. That is all you are. That is all that is. That's flaunting. That's not giving. What Markiplier did was injure himself a lot with him and his friends, and they donated money themselves to a charity, but they wanted other people to give, so they were doing silly things to keep the stream going, and that's what they did. But they haven't done another charity stream since. They haven't. Now Markiplier has advertised for a charity, and it was like every now and then he would do a charity stream. And so the same with Corey Kenshin. He did it every now and then that he didn't. And GT Live. GT Live. Uh, Patrick. Matthew Patrick. He did a $1 million stream for St. Jude and a few other for St. Jude and another charity. And he did it like, and when he did it, it was like years apart from each other. That's that right there is what I call charity because you don't flaunt the charity. Even what State Farm is doing now with the gamerhood thing, with all these gamers, they've only done it twice. Season 1 and season 2. Only done it twice. State Farm is just promoting, all State Farm is doing is promoting their brand while giving gamers a chance to donate to, by giving them clout. They're getting clout by doing with the things they love on YouTube, which is gaming and letting people and fans around the world root for them and them giving to a charity of their choice that they're playing for. And Berlizzi and I'm Dante and Krista and the rest of them, they don't do live streams like that. They don't do charity live streams like that either. They're not boasting about their their charity work. Charity work is supposed to be kind, thoughtful, and sentimental, and sometimes discreet. By putting on a live, audacious, over the top, unnecessary, every single one of your videos is either going to some rando or going to one of his friends that he paid that works for him. For God's sakes, most of his brother works for him, and the rest of his friends work for him too. And the rest of his fans just work for him. And he gives them money. Like, this is basically your paycheck. They all work for Jimmy, but this is his paycheck. And he's boasting about, and to his friends, pretty sure off camera, to how it looks to his friends, he looks like a huge pompous jerk. Had to look through the English dictionary to come up with that. Because it's not what I wanted to say. Because I got this book open and I don't want to cuss in front of the Bible. But he looks like a pompous jerk who just goes around spreading money. But this is not a hate Mr. Beast channel. I'm just saying those are examples of boasting about it and being prideful about it. Those are prime examples of what it means. So when family does it, oh, I just got this new car. Oh, I just got this new pool. Oh, I just got this new cell phone. Oh, I just got another new car. Okay, and you got a new car. Now you have 4 cars. Congratulations. You now have a way to get to and from work, to and from the hospital, to and from your mom and dad's house, to and from, okay, you got 4 cars. So I'm going to post it on social media and let everybody know I just got another car. Your family does not care. Oh, great. Yeah, got a new car. And I'm sitting here walking to the store, taking the bus to Walmart. Can you give me a ride to the store? Can you take me somewhere with your car? Can you give me one of your cars? You only need one car. You don't need 12, 15 cars. But yet, we have family members who do that sort of thing. And I honestly can't speak for myself because I haven't been around long enough to notice that kind of stuff with my family. But when you have two proud and prideful family members, and who boast about how rich they are, who flaunt their money like it's nothing, you come off as a jerk. You come off as pompous. You come off as we say, bougie. Like you're better than everybody else because you got two cars. That's not that's not fair. That's not right. Moving on. Next thing I want to talk about, not to dishonor others. So that goes back to honor your mother and your father. So the one of the commandments that God has given us humans, to not disrespect other people, to not trash their name, to not hurt them or make fun of them or make them in pain emotionally or physically. So I know a lot of us kids and adults have disrespected their parents or disrespected someone in some kind of way. Either you were aware of it or not, you've done it. And either you said it behind their back or you said it to directly to their face. Love doesn't do that. And since we're talking about family here, family love doesn't do that. Or at least we're not supposed to. Now, I understand us teenagers or young adults have done that to the parents that we're still living with until we move out on our own. And I'm sure our parents are waiting for the day that happens. And I'm sure we've said some things under your breath like and I know we've all said this behind our parents' back. Why don't you do it? I just did that. You were so extra. Oh, they get on my nerves. I just sat down. Why didn't you tell me that before I sat down? You did that on purpose. Oh, I can't stand them. Oh, I hate them sometimes. I really do. Oh, we've all of us who were and parents who were kids at one point have said that about their parents a lot of time and have talked about their parents like a dog when they are so mad. They don't mean it, but they say it, whether it's true or false. We've all said some horrendous things behind our parents' back, and especially if they say, "What did you say?" And we're like, "Nothing. We didn't say anything." No, I heard you. And I'm like, and we're all like, "No, they didn't. If they really heard us, they would have came up here and attacked us by now." But most of the time, my parents probably did hear what we just said, and they're just too tired to come after and chase us, or we too grown or we getting too old to be being spanked and stuff. So it is easy to it's so easy to dishonor others or disrespect other people when we least expect it or at least know about how we're doing it. And the times that we have confronted our cousins, because that's probably the only people we can actually talk to, like we ain't got no sense. The cousins that are around our age group. I mean, not the ones that are like 50 or older. Not the ones who are like around near our parents' age, but the ones who are not the ones who are near our parents, but the ones who are like 50 or older are those cousins. You don't want to talk to them. But the ones that are somewhat in your age group, but like kind of not, you could kind of like get away with it a little bit. Not too much though. Like you can probably roll your eyes in front of them or just walk away while they're talking to you and say, I need some space. Something like that. But like I wouldn't push it. They may be close enough to your parents' age, but I really wouldn't push it. But I certainly wouldn't let any of my cousins talk to me like any old kind of way for out of the blue. If I didn't do anything to them, I wouldn't. Even if I did do something to them and I didn't apologize for it yet, or they're still kind of mad about it, I still wouldn't let my cousins who are near my parents age talk to me any old kind of way. I'm like, excuse you. I'm not listening to you because you're coming at me like I'm your child and I'm not. We're cousins. So you can talk to me. I know you're angry at me, but you can talk to me like you were an adult talking to another adult. I'm not a teenager anymore. You cannot talk to me like I'm crazy. You can't do that to me. I'm an adult now, just like you are. Just because if they have children, I wouldn't recommend saying this, but you can't talk to me like I'm one of your kids, because I'm not. I'm your cousin, and you can't talk to me any kind of way, and I won't allow you to. And I can't talk to them any kind of way either, because number one, they're older than me. Number two, that's my cousin. That's family. You can't talk to them and say horrible and mean things to them. You can't do that. You can't do that to you can't talk to, whenever it's your cousin, it's your mom, it's your dad, it's your aunts. You can't talk to them like you've lost your mind. Even if you've lost your mind, you better find it. You better find it real quick, because you can't talk to your family like that. No matter how angry you get, they may have said or done something to you, speaking from experience. They may have said or done something to you, and that may have hurt your feelings. And my cord is pulling on me. I'm tangled in cords. They may have hurt you and they didn't realize that you've been hurt, and they may be doing the same thing over and over again that you're not telling them. Talk to them, one, when you've calmed all the way down. Number two, talk to them like you're talking to a school guidance counselor. Talk to them like with some respect, without cursing, please. But talk to them like with some respect and some dignity, and like you've been raised right, and tell them, hey, you know, this is what I've been feeling. And I'm sorry if I came off as disrespectful, but you hurt my feelings. And I don't appreciate you hurting my feelings. Even though I may not be paying rent yet, or even though I am paying rent in the house, I still deserve to be treated like an adult, and my opinion and my feelings matter. Even if I'm living in your house or not, like, I have feelings and you can't treat me a certain way. That is not what family is. And I don't appreciate it when you say this to me, or this, and that to me. It hurts my feelings, and it feels like you don't respect me as an adult, or as your grandchild, or cousin, or child, or niece, or nephew, whomever you am I talking to. But you can't sit here and just say that. You can't sit there and yell and cuss. Trust me, it don't work. Again, speaking from experience, it don't work. And aunts, uncles, cousins, moms, dads, just because we're living in your house doesn't mean we don't have feelings. And that causes tension. That makes us angry. And that makes us, number one, want to get out of your house faster. Number two, want to be around you less than more. And honestly, kind of makes us kind of hate you. But not like hate, but like hate what you did, and I don't want to talk to you. It causes unnecessary conflict and strife. So just be mindful of how we feel, just like we have to respect and be mindful of how y'all feel. Because now that we're young adults, like over the age of 20 and up, we have feelings that we just can't choke down. From 18 and under, we've all these years we had to choke down how we really feel about a situation. We've had to shut up when you told us to shut up. We can't really explain school situations because we know better. Their parent, they know better too, but we did what we thought was best, what was right in the situation, because we know it's not going to take that from no kid, from no other person. We wasn't gonna sit there and be disrespected like that. I mean, I wasn't gonna sit there and be bullied like that. So we did what we thought was right. And sometimes schoolwork is hard. And sometimes we can't even get, sometimes when we bring the homework to y'all can't figure it out. And that's why most of the time when we try to bring our homework to y'all, say, I'm not mess with that Common Core stuff. And we wonder why we failing. And you say, y'all got more opportunities than we had when we were younger. No, yeah, but it's hard and we need help. And if you don't say, I don't want to mess with that, Didn't you learn this in school? Shouldn't you? Yeah, but the teacher can only give so much. The teacher has 30 kids to worry about. And out of the 30, I am the one of many, one of a few in the class that don't understand. And I've asked, can I stay after school? But you refuse to pick me up after school because we have things to do and you don't feel like coming back to that school and coming to pick me up when I could have taken the bus home. Because if I miss the bus, you gonna whoop my behind for missing the bus. And I can't walk home. And I sure as heck can't walk home. And you've given me a flip phone, so I can't even Google Map where I live. So, and honestly, just to slight tangent from this topic of family, parents, grandparents, aunts over the age of 40, we come from a different generation than you grew up in. So things are different than they were when you were going to school. What you could do back then, you cannot do now. And a lot of teachers will tell you that. You can't hit a kid in school no more. That was the thing before, but now it's not because some teachers take it too far. A lot of teachers have taken it too far and now it's cut off. So you can't sit here and tell me that and tell me that uh and and tell me that it's the same when it's not. And a lot of grandparents will tell you that it is the same. No, it's not. It is not the same. You've been out of school for how long? You graduated high school when? You did what? All of that has changed. It has changed. And the sooner y'all accept that we're coming from a different generation where things are different and worse than yours, we're telling the truth. It's not nothing different. I mean, honestly, how many of y'all had to help y'all grandparents or aunts or cousins, older cousins with technology problems? Yeah, 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 yeah. You, all in the back. Yep. Had to help with technology problems because technology is a thing now. Everything is digital. Everything is digitalized now. You can have a doctor's appointment from your house. You ain't gotta go nowhere. Why? Because it's different. It is so much different than when your grandparents or your parents went to school, or even some of your cousins. And you know, back on topic, but don't dishonor anybody. Don't talk about people behind their back. And I know it is so hard for us people I'm talking about people my age group who live with their parents to fight the urge to like rage, and you have to subdue yourself and say, okay, that's all you can say. It's okay. You're angry as hell. You're mad as hell, but you just gotta and rant to your friends. But just mm, don't disrespect people. It's not cool. Don't disrespect your family. Don't do that. Or at least try your hardest not to. Because saying don't is gonna cause people to do it more. So I'm gonna say try not to do that. Or at least if you're gonna do it, make sure you're within 100 feet or more from your house and out of ear range of parents. Because parents, I swear, parents can hear everything. Everything. The next thing I want to talk about is not self-seeking and is not easily angered. And it keeps no records of wrongdoing. So, three things we're going to have to talk about. Not self-seeking. Don't go seeking love in places where there is none. Stop doing that. Stop attention seeking. It is the worst way to get your parents, your friends, your lovers' attention. Stop. And most people start arguments to get attention. You already know you're loved by a lot of people. So stop saying or doing things that you know is going to get you some attention and not the attention you want. Again, speaking from experience. Stop trying to do bad things. Stop stealing. Stop breaking stuff. Stop having panic attacks when you're fine. Don't pretend to have it. And the worst thing is to pretend to have a mental illness and then use it against your parents so you can have some attention. Don't do that. Because the people like me who actually have a mental illness and who take pills for it, that makes our illnesses look like nothing. It makes us look irrelevant. It makes us look like we're faking. It makes us look like we're just attention seeking. And we're not. Most of us. Now I'm not going to kid you. I've done some attention seeking in my life because I thought my parents didn't love me or I had to do something bad to get their attention. Because sometimes I felt insignificant because I felt so depressed that I felt like my parents didn't love me enough, so I would do stupid stuff in school or say the wrong things or say the right things to get me in a hospital or whatever the case may be. Stop attention seeking. It is not worth it. And also stop seeking love in places you ain't got no business seeking love in. Let me give you an example. If you're in a polyamorous relationship, you're seeking love because you're willing to put up with sharing it with another man or woman or both in your relationship. People have said to me, there's a thing called an open marriage, an open relationship, an open situationship. Don't even get me started on the third one. But stop using your family's love and love for if they're angry with you, let them be mad at you. You can apologize to the cows come home. But if they're going to still be mad for a while, give them their space and they'll come to you when they're not mad anymore. But do not say, maybe we should just end our friendship. And they're like, why? Because you're still mad at me. And I feel like if you're going to be still mad at me, I feel like we just can't be friends anymore. And I'm like, we've been friends since we were kids. Since we grew up together. We're like sisters. You're just gonna end our friendship over something you did? You got me in trouble, and I'm the one who had to get the butt whooping. Or I'm the one who had to go to jail for 48 hours for you because you stole somebody's whatever. And now you want to end our friendship because I'm angry with you, which will hurt them even more, which will make them even more angry with you, which is not solving the problem. Give the person you've angered some space. That's where most of the attention seeking comes from. Out of anger. When you have anger, that's what'll happen. I'm gonna have to hurry this video because it's getting kind of long. But you have to stop seeking when you it's love when and when one if you have a step parent that does not love you at all and shows and tells you and you still trying to claw after that, girl, girl, boy, whoever you are, if you are really, really that desperate, if you are really that desperate to find some love and a step parent that wants nothing to do with you, stop trying. Stop trying because it's not going to work. You know, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. She made it clear. He made it clear. They don't like you. Anyway, you just You know, just stop self-seeking people. Just stop self-seeking people. Stop seeking people to love you when there is no love there. Humans are fickle. Last 2 points. It does not get easily angered and it keeps no record of wrongs. These two go hand in hand with each other. Your family is supposed to be there with you through everything. And sometimes there are moments when they are not. And it's so disappointing when family members get so angry with each other that they start to see each other not as family, but as enemies. Speaking from someone who has done that a lot in her life, see her parents, see her family as the enemy. And I am in a sea full of sharks and I am bleeding. When in reality, they're trying to free me from a net or a harpoon that has struck me. And what could be perceived as hurting me can be seen as actually helping me. And when we get so angry at our family members, it is so hard to let it go because they have hurt us in a way that they never thought was imaginable. Or they have switched up on us and we didn't expect it. Being easily angered is something I have been and I have seen in my own family and other families too. I have witnessed other families so angry. One of my friends had a problem and it was with his family. And he was so angry that he said he hated him. And I said, hate? Hate? How many of you have said, I hate you to your parents or to your cousins or your step siblings or whatever the case may be? Anybody in your family you have said those 3 words to, I hate you. Those 3 letters are like ninja blades to the heart. They're like daggers to the heart. You feel like you're burning inside when you hear those words, when someone says those words to you. And when you when you hear that, it is so hurtful. You can't stand to be next to them. No, 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 no. You can't stand it. No, you don't want them in on the same god planet as you. You wish them dead. You hate them so. That is what those 3 letters mean. I wish you were dead. That's how bad I hate you. Well, you're not supposed to hate anybody. You shouldn't hate anyone because I swear, if you wish that they were dead and they happen to get hit by a car or get shot and die because after you said it, you'd feel so guilty about what you just said. You'd be so sad. You'd be like, what have I done? What have I said? What did I do? I didn't mean it. I was so angry. I didn't mean it. It was over something stupid. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what it's like when people say that word. And when you say it toward family, yikes. That means that that family either pissed you off to the brink of you wishing them dead, or you're just a really mean person. You just said that, or you just said that to hurt them because they hurt you. Either way, it's wrong. And as someone who has said it at least twice, probably more than that, but I'm going to say twice, has said it directly to the person. I have said it twice directly to people, or at least, yeah, to the people I've said it to. But in my head, I've said it a lot. To my therapist, I said it a lot. To my psychiatrist, I said it a lot. So I have said it so much. And I'm like, God damn. It is so, it's so hard. It is so hard to not get angry at family members because they're your family. But now let's be clear. Parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, older cousins. If one of your family members was less than 50 years old and they feel some type of way or you've wronged them in any kind of way, let's be clear, very clear. We have every right to be angry with you, no matter how long. Let's make that clear right now. Because someone has told me that I have to respect them or I can't see them as the enemy. In that moment, in that very moment that I'm angry with them, they are my enemy. Now, I'm not treating them as they are the villain out of a book or they are Satan themselves. But in the fit of rage that I am in, they are my enemy. They are my enemy. And I want to talk to them until I feel better. And they should, and I sure as hell know they don't want to talk to me either because they're mad as hell. Now I would never say I hate them because I've or something stupid or small. But if I hate them, that means that they've done something like rape my child, tried to kill me, burned my house down, caused me to have a miscarriage. Something evil like that over a life and death matter. That is when the anger won't subside. But that is when we are totally enemies. Now, when I'm in a fit of rage and I say things I don't mean, like I don't want to be around you, you make me sick. It's not saying I hate you, it's just saying get away from me. I don't want to be around you for the remaining of my for how long I'm mad. For however long my fit of rage is, I don't want to see your face. Because I'm gonna punch you in it. Or I'm just gonna flat out smack you across the face or beat you with a bat. So in my fit of rage, or in their fit of rage, they probably feel the same way. We are enemies to each other. We shouldn't be, but we're angry because we're angry. But we can't, well, why are we so angry with each other? We shouldn't be that angry. We should not be all the way up here at family. That's not okay. Like, we, no, we all the way up here. All the way up here out of anger. All the way up here at family. And we shouldn't be that angry with each other. We we shouldn't be that angry. You know, it doesn't make any sense that we should be so visceral angry that we want to hurt each other. Now, that's why I always tell people I try not to get angry anymore. I get irritated, I get annoyed, but I don't get angry. Because what's the point of getting angry? Because it's going to turn into a full-blown fight, and nobody wants that. So I get irritated. I get irritated and I let it go. I get annoyed and I let it go. But angry, oh, my anger, and I'm just telling it for my family members that are watching this, my anger lasts for days, which means it's not anger, it's rage. It could be days, it could be even weeks, it could be even months before I finally let it go. So I may avoid you. I may not want to talk to you. I may tend to even flat out ignore you. But that is my anger. So you've gotten me to that point where I don't want to talk to you ever until I want to talk to you. So every time I hear your name, it irritates me. Every time you're in my presence, I'll leave because that's how angry you've made me. Irritated, annoyed, it's good. It's good. It's all right. They didn't mean it. But if you have said something to me or have pissed me off to the point where I'm yelling and cussing, which I try very hard not to get that mad ever. Because I don't like being that way. I don't hate being angry. But if you have said something or have done something hurtful to me, I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go until either you apologize or till I feel like I need to get over it. And most of the time, it's the latter. I have to get over it. Somebody said to me, I know who it is, but I'm not going to say who, that told me that I like to manipulate things and I like to plan things, as in, for like a maniacal intent, as in if a hurtful intent. The people, yeah, it's more than one person. The people who have said that to me, you're jerks. You are. You are, because that's a hurtful thing to say, especially when it's not true. It may seem like that, sure, when how the situation plays out or how a certain situation plays out, but that's not, you don't tell nobody that. They're your family. Why would you sit there and say that they do that? That means that either you're not letting it go, number one, you don't like me, number two, or you really do think that way of me. And that's really hurtful because imagine if I had told someone that you like to lie and manipulate people when you don't do that. Because if you're going around telling other people that, it makes them be wary of you. Another thing, when you're all angry at each other, don't take sides. If it's two people or three people in a room, they're family, and you're jumping in as a family member to get on top of them about something, about the person, about one person and that they're arguing at, mind your business. I see that all the time in families. Mind your own business. It would make the situation so much better if you mind your own business. Continuing this conversation about past doings or wrongdoings, it is it is another day. That's why I got my nails done. But it is bringing up wrongdoings is not something that love talks about. And we're going to go into, like I said, this is the week of the first four verses. So verses 4 through, actually, verses 4 and 5. Verses 4 and 5 in the NIV version of the Bible. This is where um I'm coming from. And we're going to only talk about these first two verses for this week. And we'll go into more depth, even though I think I've already explained it. But to my fellow Christians, if you're going to, if you're going to preach all that stuff about being respectful to your grandmother even when you're mad, don't treat like the enemy. You can't help but feel like you can't help but feel like that's some bull. Because I know when I feel angry at any of my family members, they are the enemy in that moment because they are causing me harm emotionally. Hopefully not physically, but emotionally, they are causing me harm. And I feel as though is having a Christian family with tons of ministers and a bishop as an uncle, it's kind of hard to respect them when they are sometimes in Christian families. It really pains me to say this about my own. It pains me to say this about any Christian family, but any Christian family or any Christian in general. If you do not exhibit these qualities in a scripture, are you really serving God? It does not exist for humans to not be envious of each other, to not boast, to be proud, to not be prideful, to not delight in sometimes being evil to one another. It does not, as in when it says that, it means like laugh at others' misfortunes and delight and do something mean to them and be happy about it. Kind of like pranks. Kind of like on the, it sounds that's what it kind of is. Like you're scaring your family member and you find delight in that. It kind of seems like that's where that's headed, but it's not really. But what I don't get and don't like is that, we as Christians, we always preach the gospel to other people, but yet we don't do the same things either. I mean, honestly, how many Christians households, how many Christians have not stolen at some point? How many Christians have not lied at some point? How many have held grudges? How many have brought up past misunderstandings? How many how many were not patient or kind? How many were boastful? How many were envious of somebody or somebody in your family? It's kind of ridiculous. You can't preach that in your sermons or preach that to your children when you have grudges and backlash from the past. If you're still, let me put it this way. If there is a situation currently happening in your family and you have not let it go, whether it be 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 2 decades ago, however long it is, and you're still mad about it, are you really forgiving your family? Are you really teaching forgiveness? Because you have not forgiven that person that did you dirty, whether it's from rape to physical assault to abuse to saying something rude and disrespectful, for stealing something from you, from lying to you, whatever the case may be, with any wrongdoing that you could possibly think of. Have you, and if you're still talking about it to this day, that means that you're either wanting, this is what two things: you want that person to apologize to you, or you want, or you want them to suffer. Because if you were still, if all was forgiven, you would have forgotten about what they did, or probably not forgot, but forgave. But the fact is that you didn't do either or. You did not forgive, or they did not apologize to you, or you did not apologize to them. What kind of message are you sending to non-believers? And this is why we have a problem with non-believers. Because Christians do hypocritical stuff. I was going to say another word, but Christians do hypocritical stuff. And I've seen it in my own family, and I've seen it in the streets, and I've seen it online. We can't claim Christianity if we're not teaching about love. We just came out of a month that love is love. When it's not. Love is based on feelings and what you want and what you represent. What they represent is an identity. What we represent is what it is. God is love, not love is God. And but as Christians, we are told to love everybody, no matter what. But we don't. Even our enemies, we don't. We spite our enemies. We wish death upon our enemies. I know I have. I shouldn't have, but I did. But then again, I didn't know any better. I wasn't in tune with the Bible like I should have been. Then again, I was 12 years old. What the hell did I know about the Bible? I knew I knew the Lord's Prayer and how to say Satan, the Lord rebukes you in the name of Jesus to ward off demons. What the hell did I know about the true teachings of Jesus Christ? What the hell did I know about any of that? I wasn't taught until I was 15, 16 years old. By that time, I was just like, okay. By that time, I was already engrossed in myself. I hated myself. I loathed myself. I loathed my family. I loathed everybody because I felt that every person I've ever met that ever comes into my life always leaves my life and always ends up hating me in some shape or form or stabs me in the back. And my philosophy back then is love is a lie. There is no such thing as love. There's only God's love, but God hates me for what I did to my brother and my family. That's what I felt. So what the hell does a 16-year-old with a 15, 16-year-old girl know about the Bible? It had to be instilled in me over the last 7 years. Now I am aware of what the teachings of Jesus Christ somewhat me. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that the things I do understand, I've caught I've caught a lot of Christians and I've caught a lot of ministers and I've caught a lot of people in my own family slipping. But I don't say anything because who am I? Who am I? I know nothing about the Bible. So I'm coming here as on a platform to tell about one specific chapter that has that 4 through 8 that talks about what love should be because this chapter is called love is indispensable because God love is unconditional. Humans have conditional love, and that includes family members. If you push your family members too far, they have conditions about their love. Even in fact, even when don't do anything wrong, your family still has conditions about who you should be. Our parents have taught us that, especially Christians, that God exists, Jesus exists, the devil exists. Okay? They instilled that us since we started talking. Then they instilled in us how it should be in life and what we should do when we don't know, understand. And to pray, 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 and pray it away. And just pray. In church, we were told to shut up and listen and try to understand the Bible. We don't really get the concept of Jesus Christ until we're adults. Then we start to understand it or understand it better. Because being a Christian is the hardest job you'll ever have in your life. Because you have to be patient, you have to be kind, you have to be tolerant to the BS we see every day, i.e., the month of June. And sometimes we have to be tolerant of our own family members. We have to honor our mother and father. We have to honor the people, our elders. We have to talk to them with respect. Now, a cousin of mine used that scripture on me, talking about some family members. We weren't talking about my parents. We were talking about other adults in the family. That scripture doesn't really count, but I guess if they're acting as guardian, I guess that makes sense. But let's be honest here. I'm sure when we were all growing up, our parents has said some things, has said some hurtful things to us, and we said some hurtful things back. And in this scripture, in these four scriptures, sorry, no, five scriptures. In these five scriptures, have your parents ever been slow to anger? Have your parents ever been patient? Because mine certainly has, up to a point. My family members have up to a point. But what I don't understand is when we're supposed to love each other as a family, and we have grudges that's over 30, 40, 50 years old, and we're still not over, and we're still talking about them. When you're still talking about a situation, you're not over the situation. You're still upset. Therefore, you have not forgiven that person. You can't sit here and claim Christianity and do that. Don't lie. You're still mad. You're still salty. If you're still salty about a situation, as I've been told all my life, build a bridge and get over it because you're still holding on to it. If I'm being honest, this little scripture lookup is due to a situation that happened in my life recently. That's why I looked this up. Because it just seems like, and I've seen it online too, how many Christians are really Christians. You can be claim that are saved by the Jesus himself, and I can look you in your eye and tell you, I'm gonna ask you this: have you hurt one of your family members today? Have they hurt you in any kind of way? And if they have, how? What was said? How was it said? Who did it? Did you do it? Did you have a part in it? Did you do something? See, my take on that is that I put a post on Facebook recently, and only one person has said something on it. I haven't read it yet, but I asked, what I asked was, how do you show love and kindness to your family? The second question I asked was, if so, and I said, if you are mad at a family member, how do you show kindness? How do you show love by using 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 4 through 8? That's my point. That is my point. How do you use those? How do you follow as Christians? How do you follow that? Because every day in my life, it just seems like family love doesn't matter. You can claim you love someone, but you don't because you have grievances and grievances. How do you do that? I want to know. We'll go into more detail in the next day, but this is my question to you. Another question will pop up. So all of you out there, to the 11 subscribers I have, using those scriptures, how do you deal with family drama? How do you still love your family after what they may or may not do to you? Just think about that. This is Ms. Valiant signing off.